Hello, my name is Daniel Copperman, and I'm going to be doing a presentation on a case study about Talia. So Talia has a wide variety of specialists and stakeholders who work with her. The first is Talia. Talia is the student, and she is the central piece of the team. The specialists and everyone, the stakeholders, are coming up with goals and communicating on how to best serve Talia. Parents communicate what they have seen at home, and they can reinforce the pegboard or the AAC device that is also being used at home. The special education teacher delivers instruction, differentiates work, and also communicates with the gen ed teacher to make sure that the student Talia has the supports that are needed to be the most successful. Another stakeholder would be the speech pathologist. The speech pathologist would work on functional communication and reinforcing that the pegboard is being used, and can also talk to maybe the paras or the sped teacher on how to maybe best use the AAC device and communication board. The occupational therapist supports her sensory needs, like brushing her hair. She has a challenging with brushing her hair, so this is kind of what the OT would do and kind of help her out. And then the administrators participates in Talia's IEP meeting. There are times that the administrator might not, but in this case would be in Talia's IEP meeting and answers any questions. Talia communicates primarily through gestures and her pegboard. She was assembled like a phrase like "I want" and then the item, and with kind of the icon. Her vocalizations are like which means that she wants food, but this is pretty inconsistent. She relies heavily on structured routines and predictability. She does best when she's in her routines. Talia requires prompting when transitioning her organization and getting her to start a task. It is important to make sure that Talia has access to her AACC supports at all times, including any unstructured settings. She should always have her AAC device or her pegboard wherever she goes. It should not be in the backpack. It should not be anywhere else, but right by her side. If Talia is going through with OT and with the SLP and gen ed teacher, it can be kind of confusing for the student to always have it. So it's important for the professionals to kind of always make sure that, where's your pegboard, where's your AAC device, Talia? It's important just to have that reinforcing, and when she does, to just really be positive and happy and excited that she's following along. To help Talia with her communication, using clear, brief, direct communication when giving directions. Having more than 2 or 3 steps can be very complicated for the student, so just having really simple, clear directions can make things kind of more better for Talia, and also just following along that visual schedule, so she's getting more comfortable with that routine. Modeling how to use the pegboard and where to find certain items. For example, if you're doing weather, first model how to find the different questions like days of the week, the weather, and then have Talia do it. Talia also has a struggle with social interactions and taking turns, so working on that peer interaction and how to take turns and how to interact with people can be really beneficial for Talia. Parents, teachers, and her specialists should know that, when working with her, should have that motivation and that communication of talking and communicating with each other on how to best support Talia. If where she's struggling, how can we best support her with those struggles? I think it's also a good idea to like create baseline data in the beginning of the year, so you know where she's kind of starting from. And it's good to create kind of a goal to, I think it's good for the team to kind of collaborate on a goal. And then the baseline data is just kind of good to have. It's a good data to have to kind of to understand where she started. Specialists and her gen ed teacher and special education teacher and everyone should make sure that she should always have access to her communication board. We should understand her strengths and her interests and focus on those and not focus on other things. And focus on interaction with her friends. If the whole team, including her parents and everyone, is very supportive and wants the best for Talia, then Talia has such a great opportunity with such an awesome support behind her.